Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Brad and I've got Carlos and John here today from the San Diego Jeep Club, and we're working hard on the project build, and we're gonna be doing some lights. We've got some lights from JW Speaker. JW Speaker is sponsored part of this build, which is really cool. We've got some headlights, we've got some tail lights, and we've got some driving lights that we're gonna put on the pillars, which is gonna be very cool. Carlos, you're the guest host today, man. You're gonna be doing all the install. I know you're a big time wheeler. You and I have been out there wheeling a lot. Tell them a little bit about your Jeep, man.
So I'm a product owner of a 2014 JK Sport, about a 4-inch lift with 35s, pretty much it.
Yeah, he wheels hard, guys. So I'm telling you right now, he knows how to put his foot on the gas.
Watch the videos.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you installed any JW Speaker lights on your Jeep?
I have not.
So this will be kind of a first time for you, right? I've got these tail lights, and I will say that I love these tail lights, but I'm really looking forward to checking out the headlights. Now, what we've got here is the tail lights are the 279J series, and then we've got the TS 3001R series lights, and then we've got the 8700 headlights. I'm really looking forward to getting these in the dark and throwing them on the screen. What do you think, Johnny? Do you think these are going to help out this Jeep quite a bit?
Absolutely, it's going to light up the darkness real well.
Yeah, it should be very nice. All right, you guys ready to get started?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Anytime you're doing any work on your Jeep, it's always a good idea to remove the negative battery terminal. Next order of business was to remove the rear tail lights, and this is an easy process. You just remove the 2 inner Phillips screws, and then you take the light and you press it towards the center line of the Jeep and just pull straight back. It comes right off. And then just press down on the tab and pull the connector apart. Now on the JW Speaker wire loom, there's a little resistor, and you have to put the little bracket on there, and then you mount the bracket up to the sheet metal inside where the tail light goes. After you get that bracket on, installing the tail lights is pretty straightforward. You just do everything in reverse order, the buttons right up, and you have to admit, these look so much nicer than the standard stock lights. The LED lights are very bright, and not only is it very styling, but it's really a safety feature because folks are going to notice you long before they would with the stock lights. And the reverse lights, they're very bright compared to stock, which is going to be very nice when we're backing up. Next, we're going to install the new headlights, and this requires removing the front grille. So there's just a bunch of tabs across the top that you're going to have to take off. They're just plastic and they pop right out. Now, normally you would remove the grille, but whoever installed the winch on this Jeep wired it through the grille, so we're going to be pulling the grille back to make it work. We got enough room here to get to those lights. Now there are 4 Torx bolts holding on the bezel, which secures the light in place. Now we're just going to remove all 4 of those bolts, pull that bezel off, and then we're going to be transferring that bezel to the new JW Speaker light. To remove the light from the wiring harness, you got to slide up the red tab. And sometimes prying the harness off of the light can be a little tricky. Don't be afraid to put a little force on it. And here's a nice look of the side-by-side with the JW Speaker lights and the old stock ones. Man, the JW Speaker is just going to give us such a unique look.
It's a lot heavier than the stock one.
Let's get all those heat sinks in the back.
Yeah, it doesn't require an anti-flicker harness. It's actually built into the light, which is awesome. You don't have to get that additional pigtail to install the light.
Putting everything back together was really pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Now, one thing to note is that after you get everything all buttoned up, it's a good idea to make sure that the beam level that you're putting out is adjusted right, and this is a little screw here on the left side that you're going to use. And man, how about that new look? And look at that white light output. It's such a nice addition to the front of the Jeep. Now for the TS 3001R auxiliary lights, you're going to need some wire to run to whatever power source you're going to hook these up to. In our case, we'll be running them directly to the S-Pod that we had previously installed. To install the mount for the lights, you need to first remove the 2 T40 bolts that are on front of the A-pillar, and then make sure you put on the little rubber protection on the mount. That way your paint doesn't get all scratched up. Now you're going to run the wire through the back of the mount, and then you're going to remove the small little Torx bits on the cowl and lift the cowl up and just slide the wires right under there. And then you can run them all the way along into the engine bay to wherever source you're going to be running your wires to. Having this S-Pod system makes wiring up auxiliary lights so convenient. It's just so simple, you know, just hook it up and the switch is already there, we're ready to go. And turning these on for the first time, we all were like, wow, this is really gonna make a big difference for us when we're out off-roading. Let's go take this outside and see what she's got. Okay, and here's just the headlights in the low beams against the garage. And here's with our high beam pattern. And here is just our auxiliary lights. And then here's now everything at once. We got the low beams, and then we got the A-pillars, and then the high beams. Man, this is gonna be really nice off-road. All right, guys, so that was a little over an hour and a half. Pretty easy install, not too bad. What do you think, Carlos?
I think they're pretty bright. John over here kind of blinded me without me.
Yeah, they're definitely very bright.
Heads up.
I like the driving pattern of the pillars, and I really like that they're a round light. It's just a nice classic look. I mean, it's just really cool. Guys, I'd be curious to know what you think. Leave a comment down below and tell us what you think about these lights. John, what do we got to look forward to on the build?
So a lot of stuff left to go. We got headliner yet to install. We got some grab bars to install. We got suspension. We got axles. We got drive shafts. We got a lot of work still to do on this Jeep.
There's some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah,
next,
fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. If you're visiting the channel for the first time, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. Until next time, we'll see you out on the trail.